The rain hit the windows like soft drumming fingers as I sat alone in the living room of my childhood home. The same couch, same family portraits on the wall, same scent of lavender and old memories in the air. But everything felt different. Or maybe it was me who had changed. I hadn't been back in nearly 3 years, not since Dad's funeral. And now, here I was, sitting on the edge of something I didn't know how to name. I heard the sound of tires on gravel, and my pulse quickened. My brother was here. Jacob and I used to be close. Growing up, we were inseparable. He was 2 years older but treated me like an equal. We'd build forts out of couch cushions, sneak cookies from the jar, and promise each other that nothing would ever come between us. But life has a way of testing childhood promises, especially when you're not ready for the truth. When Mom called last week and said Jacob wanted to talk, I wasn't sure how to feel. We hadn't spoken much since the falling out. It wasn't one big explosion but a slow, painful drift. Arguments over how we handled Dad's care, unspoken resentment, and my own guilt for leaving home as soon as I could. It all built a wall neither of us had tried hard enough to climb over. He stepped inside, wiping his shoes at the door like he always did. Same worn leather jacket, same tired eyes. "Hey, Claire," he said, voice gruff but softer than I remembered. "Hey," I replied, standing but unsure whether to hug him. We stood awkwardly until he gave a small nod and walked past me into the kitchen. We sat across from each other at the table where we once ate peanut butter sandwiches and dared each other to drink pickle juice. The silence stretched. I wasn't ready for this conversation. Not emotionally, not mentally. But he'd come all this way, and maybe he wasn't ready either. "You look good," he offered, though his eyes didn't quite meet mine. "You look tired," I replied, and that at least got a weak smile. "I guess I am." More silence. I glanced at the clock. It was only 3:07 p.m., but it felt like midnight inside my chest. "So, what did you want to talk about?" Jacob leaned back, rubbed the back of his neck like he always did when he was nervous. "I've been thinking a lot about the past. About Dad. About us." I swallowed. I could feel the old anger creeping up like a shadow. "You mean how you decided everything without asking me? How you sold the truck he loved without even a text?" He flinched. "I didn't want to fight. So you ignored me?" I snapped, the words sharper than I intended. "You just pushed me out like I didn't matter." Jacob didn't raise his voice. He just looked down at his hands, then back at me. "Claire, I didn't know how to include you. You were in Boston, starting your new job. I thought I was doing what needed to be done." "You thought wrong," I said, biting my lip, because the heat in my chest was starting to rise. He nodded slowly. "You're right." That surprised me. I had prepared for defensiveness, maybe even an argument. But not this quiet, simple agreement. I didn't handle things right. I should have called. I should have waited before selling Dad's stuff. I thought I was protecting you from more pain, but I think I was just trying to avoid mine. I blinked. His voice cracked on the last word. "Jacob never cried. Not when we buried our dog, not even when Dad passed. I'd always assumed he was just stoic, but now I saw the truth behind his eyes. The weight he'd been carrying. "I thought you hated me," I admitted. "I thought you didn't care anymore," he said at the same time. We both laughed a little, and it was like the ice cracked just enough for something real to come through. "I never hated you," I said, softer now. "I just didn't know how to talk to you after Dad died. You were always the strong one." I felt like a failure. Jacob leaned forward. "Claire, I was scared out of my mind. I was making decisions I didn't want to make. Signing paperwork, talking to lawyers, trying to act like I had it together. But inside, I was falling apart. I felt tears sting my eyes. Why didn't you say anything?" "Because I thought you needed me to be strong. I didn't want to put more on your plate." "You should have," I whispered. "I needed to grieve with you. Not alone." The room was quiet again, But this time it wasn't tense. It was like we were sitting in a shared space of honesty, where the years between us started to shrink. "I kept the pocket knife," Jacob said suddenly. "What? The one Dad gave us on that camping trip? I didn't sell it. I kept it. It's in my drawer at home." My heart twisted. That trip had been one of our best memories. Dad teaching us how to build a fire, the three of us laughing under the stars. I hadn't thought about that knife in years. "I'm glad you did," I said. We sat for a while, sipping coffee Mom had brewed earlier. The house creaked with old age, and I thought about how many times we'd both run through these halls. How many arguments echoed off these walls. How many hugs. How many goodbyes. "I want to fix this," Jacob said after a while. "Us." "Me too." He looked down, then met my eyes. "There's more." I felt a lump in my throat. "More." "I've been seeing someone. Her name's Alicia. And she's pregnant." The words hit me like a wave. Wow. That's big news. I wasn't sure if I should tell you. I didn't know if we were okay enough yet. I stood up and walked to the window, needing a moment. I watched the rain drip down the glass, trying to process what this meant. My brother was going to be a dad. "Claire?" he asked softly. I turned around, a smile breaking through the tears. "I'm happy for you. Really." He exhaled, visibly relieved. "I want you to be part of it. The baby's life. My life." "I want that too," I said. "Uncle Jacob has a nice ring to it, by the way." He laughed, and the sound filled the house in a way I hadn't heard in years. Later that night, after dinner and a long walk around the neighborhood, Jacob and I sat on the porch steps. The rain had stopped, and the air smelled like wet earth and beginnings. "We've still got a lot to figure out," I said. "Yeah," he agreed. "But at least we're talking." I nodded, resting my head on his shoulder. For the first time in years, I felt like we were kids again. Not because everything was perfect, but because we were finally facing things together. There were things I still wasn't ready for. Conversations that would take time. But sitting beside my brother, I realized that maybe readiness wasn't about being prepared, it was about being willing. And in that moment I was willing. Willing to forgive. Willing to heal. Willing to start again. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough.